You just picked up that new flagship smartphone, admiring the smooth display, the seamless curves, the way it fits perfectly in your hand. It feels like magic, but it's really the result of years of engineering and innovation packed into a device that slips easily into your pocket. The camera captures every detail, the apps open in a blink, and you can scroll endlessly without a hint of lag. The speed and responsiveness are almost addictive. But there's a secret ingredient inside making all that possible. Tiny, powerful magnets hidden deep within the phone's body, working tirelessly behind the scenes. Not your ordinary fridge magnets, these are rare earth magnets engineered from elements like neodymium and samarium. They're the hidden heroes of modern technology, far stronger and more compact than anything you'd find on your refrigerator door. They're everywhere, working silently in your devices. From the phone in your hand to the laptop on your desk to the headphones you use to escape into music, these magnets are the invisible force that powers your digital world. That crisp haptic feedback when you type a message or unlock your phone, that satisfying buzz is thanks to magnets, giving you a tactile connection to your device. The speakers blasting clear audio, letting you hear every note and every word. Magnets again, vibrating at just the right frequency to create sound from silence. Electric vehicles like Teslas? They rely on hundreds of pounds of these rare earth magnets to turn electricity into motion, making silent acceleration and long-range travel possible. Without them, the electric revolution would grind to a halt. Even wind turbines generating clean energy need them to convert the invisible force of wind into usable power, helping to drive the world toward a greener future. From hard drives storing your memories to earbuds delivering your favorite songs, these magnets are the linchpin of our digital lives, quietly enabling the technology we depend on every day. Without them, our gadgets would be bulkier, heavier, and far less efficient. Electric vehicles would have shorter ranges, and green energy would stall, making progress toward a sustainable future much harder. Yet the entire tech industry is on edge, because the supply of these critical magnets is controlled by a single source. The journey from rare earth mine to your pocket is long, complex, and increasingly uncertain. What happens when that source changes the rules? It's not hypothetical anymore. Shortages, price spikes, and political tensions are already sending shockwaves through the industry. The global tech world is holding its breath, all because of these tiny, powerful magnets. They may be invisible, but their impact is impossible to ignore. Let's break it down. Rare earth magnets, especially neodymium magnets, are the most powerful permanent magnets you can buy. They're small, shiny, and deceptively strong, able to lift objects hundreds of times their own weight. Compared to the old-school ferrite magnets you might remember from science class, neodymium magnets are in a league of their own. Their strength comes from a unique atomic structure, which allows them to generate intense magnetic fields in a tiny package. This makes them absolutely essential for modern technology. They're the secret to making motors, speakers, and sensors smaller, lighter, and more efficient. Without these magnets, our devices would be bulkier, heavier, and far less capable. They're the hidden force behind the miniaturization of electronics, powering everything from your headphones to the most advanced robotics. In an electric vehicle, stronger magnets mean more torque, better acceleration, and longer range on a single charge. They help make EVs more practical and affordable, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in clean transportation. In wind turbines, neodymium magnets allow for more electricity to be generated from the same amount of wind. This means more renewable energy, less reliance on fossil fuels, and a cleaner planet. In your phone, they make vibration motors smaller and cameras faster. They're the reason your phone can buzz, snap photos instantly, and fit so much tech into such a slim design. The name rare earth is misleading. They're not actually that rare in the Earth's crust, but finding deposits that are concentrated enough to mine, and then refining them into pure elements, is tough, expensive, and messy. Mining and processing these elements is expensive and creates a lot of toxic waste. The chemicals used can contaminate water, soil, and air, making environmental cleanup a huge challenge. That's why many countries stopped producing them decades ago. The environmental costs and strict regulations made it easier to import than to mine and refine at home. So we have a material that's essential for modern tech but hard and dirty to produce. The world relies on a supply chain that's both fragile and complicated. High demand, tough production, perfect recipe for a supply chain bottleneck. Any disruption can send shockwaves through the tech industry, causing delays and price spikes. And right now, almost the entire world supply chain for these magnets runs through one country, China. They dominate mining, refining, and manufacturing, controlling over 80% of the global market. That's a huge vulnerability for every tech company, and for you, the consumer. If something happens to that supply, the impact would be felt worldwide, from factories to your local electronics store. The world's tech ambitions are hanging by a thread that's stretched thin and could snap at any moment. And that thread is held almost entirely by China. The future of global technology, innovation, and even green energy depends on a supply chain that's more fragile than most people realize. So, where does this thread lead? Straight to China. When it comes to rare earth magnets, all roads point east. The story of these powerful little components is, in many ways, the story of China's rise as a global industrial powerhouse. For decades, China has built a near-total monopoly over rare earth magnets. This didn't happen overnight. It's the result of long-term planning, government support, and a willingness to do what others wouldn't. They control every step: mining, refining, and manufacturing. From the moment the ore is pulled from the ground to the final product shipped overseas, China's grip is unbroken. China mines about 60% of the world's rare earths, but processes nearly 90%. That means even if the raw materials come from elsewhere, they almost always pass through Chinese hands before becoming magnets. For finished magnets, their market share is over 90%. In other words, almost every high-performance magnet in your phone, car, or wind turbine likely has a Chinese origin. Even if another country mines the raw materials, they usually send them to China for processing. The infrastructure, expertise, and sheer scale China offers are unmatched anywhere else. This dominance is no accident. It's the result of decades of strategic investment and policy decisions, all aimed at making China indispensable to the world's supply chain. In the 80s and 90s, while other countries shut down rare earth operations, China invested, subsidized, and accepted the environmental cost. They saw an opportunity and seized it, even as the rest of the world looked away. Deng Xiaoping famously said, "The Middle East has oil, China has rare earths." That vision has shaped decades of policy, turning rare earths into a strategic asset. Now the world is waking up to the risk. Nearly all supply for a critical component comes from one source. This concentration creates a single point of failure for countless industries. If China raises prices, limits exports, or faces disruptions, the shockwaves hit instantly. The global economy could feel the impact in days, not weeks. Global tech companies and consumers are left vulnerable. Everything from electric vehicles to smartphones to renewable energy depends on these magnets, and by extension, on China. The dragon has a firm grip, and everyone is starting to feel the squeeze. As the world races to secure its own supply, the question remains, can anyone loosen China's hold?